and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, the proceedings are being recorded. Roll call.
Ed,
Yep.
Mike, I'm here. Kathy,
Yes.
Doug.
Public participation on agenda items. Going once. Approval of minutes from the regular supervisor meeting, August 27th, 2018.
Make a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll say. How do you vote?
Kathy,
Yes.
I vote yes. Doug,
Yes.
Ed.
Yep. Approve the minutes of the special advertised meeting on September 17th, 2018.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes?
I'll second. How do you vote?
Kathy,
Yes.
I vote yes. Doug,
I'll vote yes, anything I knew about it, we adjourned. That's all I saw.
Yeah. Financial business, approval of the treasurer's report dated August 27th through September 24th, 2018. Everything's up here, bank statements, bills, list, invoices are attached.
I move that we approve the treasurer's report?
I'll second it. I didn't see that, yes.
All right, how do you vote?
Kathy,
Yes.
I vote yes. Doug,
Yes.
Ed.
Yep. Motion to pay the bills.
Make a motion to pay the bills?
I second the motion.
About time you get your name.
I'm writing, sorry.
How do you vote?
Kathy,
Yes.
I vote yes. Doug,
I'm gonna actually abstain because I didn't get a chance to see him.
okay.
I was loaded up on the interstate and some other issues.
Yeah.
Ed.
And Kathy, you're going to abstain as to that reimbursement, right? Only.
Yes, yes.
Department reports, code enforcement.
Oh, wait.
The reimbursement from the $39 for the fence pliers for the road crew.
But it didn't pass.
No, I think the rules just changed. There was court cases came down.
Last time you said that, I went and read the case law. and
Did you see that case that came down?
Yeah, it didn't say exactly what
Wait
we
a
were
minute.
talking about.
Wait, what happened?
Yeah, you have to have,
You're abstaining
That's
from
the,
the,
that's the thing, reimbursement.
let's make it a separate item and then
Okay.
I'll vote for it.
Okay,
Alright.
so,
That solves it, don't it?
I just don't want to get any problem with
I
it.
agree.
okay, so,
We're going to make, okay, so the motion, just for the record, the motion was just everything except for the reimbursement, correct? Am I right, folks? Mr.
Yes.
Teagar?
Yes, ma'am, sorry.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
okay, so we
Selling
have,
my
we have,
wife.
we have a motion made by Kathy to pay the bills except for this reimbursement.
Correct.
You still want to second it?
yes,
How do you vote?
okay. Kathy,
Yes.
okay. I
Tabby?
vote yes. Doug,
Now, we're voting on just the reimbursement or not?
No, this is
No,
Motion to
everything.
pay the bills
Okay,
except
okay.
for reimbursement.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna, I'll abstain on that.
okay,
Yes.
okay, so that's still a 3 then. Okay.
All right, now do we have to do something with the reimbursement?
Motion
Yeah.
to
No, I will make a motion to pay Kathy,
reimburse Kathy.
to reimburse Kathy the $39 and, what
I don't know
was it?
what that was.
$39.98.
You say that was for fence?
Fence post
For
pullers.
fence, yeah,
Okay. I'll second that.
okay,
Just to fix Tom McConn's fence.
okay,
All right, we got a motion and a second.
yep.
How do you vote?
Kathy? You
I abstain. No, I was asking you.
I could put it to her right now.
You could. I'm gonna need my fence pullers
All
back.
right. I vote yes. Doug?
I'll vote yes.
Ed?
I guess.
Means that's a yes, right?
Yeah.
That's a yes.
Okay.
All right, that was way harder than it needed to be. Code enforcement.
Yes, sir, for the month of August, there was some communication sent out, but there was no action taken on any properties.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Engineer. Could we arrange to meet him?
We could. Today he had a funeral.
Okay.
So Tammy and I attempted to video either road ourselves. That was fun.
Fire department.
In August, we answered 22 calls for service. 8 times we gave mutual aid, 3 times we received it. No overlapping calls. Our average dispatch to arrival for all calls was 7 minutes, 16 seconds. There's 22 calls. We had 1 freight or transport vehicle fire, 9 EMS calls, 2 crashes with injuries, 2 hazardous conditions, 1 lockout, 1 assist invalid. 2 times we were dispatched and canceled en route. 2 odors of smoke, 1 sprinkler activation with no fire, and 1 flood assessment. We utilized 230 and a half man hours in August.
That's it.
And do we know when trick or treat is? Did we decide that?
It will be. I think it's on. Is it on our list? No. It was on my list for Tammy. It will be the 31st, the same time Claysville is.
Yeah, I think the last meeting, we said.
Whatever Claysville and Claysville said
6
they.
to 7 or so? Okay. We don't know
I
the
think
time
it's
for
6 to
sure.
7.
I think so.
We'll get
I
in touch
believe
with
that's
you.
it. It's
Ask
already been
Suzanne.
Okay.
I wrote it down on the thing, but yeah. And my phone's in the back.
All right. That's all I have for the fire department.
You got anything for Marshall?
Whether it's a reminder or a question, I suppose it's a question. I think when you guys did away with, since we know we didn't bring in zoning, so we're still back to the old ordinances. So I just want to make sure that you guys are aware, since you're the planning agency,
Commissioner.
whatever it is, that we do have the Knox box ordinance on a commercial structure being built in the township that all
There's a
know.
separate ordinance for that.
Yeah, yeah, I just want to make sure that we're still aware of that, so. if
How many
anything comes
knock
in for building
boxes do we
permit.
have in the
2?
2? What are they?
Where are they?
There's one here.
Yeah, and the other, well, I'm gonna have to think about that for a minute, I don't remember where it's at. We haven't had to use it yet.
What's Presbyterian Church?
Yeah, well, there's 3 then,
Okay.
so the only one we've had to use so far is here. So,
Oh, you had to use it?
yeah, we did have to use it one night, so.
Cool.
All right, that's all I have.
Thank you.
What do you suggest that we do to enhance that enforcement of that?
Well, it's just, they just have to, they have to know it's there when they apply for a permit, and before the final is approved. I guess
That's for
for occupancy,
commercial-
they have to have
commercial
commercial
structures,
structures, yeah. Yeah, before I was just coming to the planning commission's meetings and making sure that they, reminding them of that. So I don't know what,
So if we have any new commercial structures in the township, they need to have a Knox box.
yes, yes.
Thank you. Office and water.
We are finalizing the ads for the sewage treatment plant. And I think that's probably it.
I've been driving around.
Do we have any issues going on with the DEP that we need to be made aware of?
There was a report that came through the other day that said we hadn't turned in the paperwork. Only Mr. Forrest has paperwork that we did turn in.
Okay,
That would be the only thing.
nothing that we're on the list to potentially be fined for.
No,
Okay.
no, they don't. He doesn't know if it's an automatic kick out with the DEP. He thinks they just crossed, but that was he. And he called me and told me about it immediately.
Okay. How about the water leak on Main Street?
Which one?
Well, the one.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
one where they thought they might have to dig the street up.
Okay, that one, turns out that's on her side. Now, there's also one up by Reed's house.
Yeah,
Bill Reed?
Yes,
Okay.
and
and that's on her side also.
When you say her side, what do you?
it's on the opposite side of the meter, so it's on the.
It's on the house
It's
on
on
her
the
side.
It's
customer's.
on the customer's
Customer
side.
side, yes.
So the customer's responsibility is from the meter to the
Mhm.
residents?
Yes,
Yeah.
What about from the meter to the curb stop? Is that ours?
that's ours.
So he went out and checked and
Did
it's.
they get some doozy of the bills? Yeah.
Not sure yet.
Because it went through the meter if it's on their
If,
side.
yes, so that would probably, that can be adjusted, but we do know when each of them were reported, and the lady in Bill Reed's house felt really stupid until we said, no, little leaks become big leaks, and it turned out she had a big leak, so,
Yeah.
And we're able to adjust the sewage.
yes, we're able to do that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that it? Parks and Rec.
I know they were all sick, and their meeting was really, really late the other day, so, last week or so.
Police Department.
Yes, sir, for the month of August, we had in excess of 600 hours, man-hours. Let's see here, we had 273 events with 136 calls for service, 8 reportable crimes, property loss for the month of August was $910, property recovered was $210, 35 traffic stops, 2 reportable accidents, 20 citations, traffic citations issued, 3 non-traffics, and 1 criminal complaint. Officers patrolled approximately 3,799 miles, and used approximately 216 gallons of gas. Let's see here. We did that. Buffalo report, visual report. The only thing I'd like to mention that didn't have to do with the month is Friday, we finished installing the records management system. So we'll get the second half of the bill on that, and they've already started the service, or the training, the in-service training. So we should have the new system up August 1st. We should be using it. And that's really all I have.
October.
October.
October 1st, I'm sorry. Yeah. Been a long summer.
All right, thanks. Road Department, Steve sent me,
Do you have it? If not, I printed it.
yeah, I printed it out too. They replaced pipes on Morgan Hill, Valley Road, and Hicks Road. Cleaned up after the storm. Materials ordered and coming in for Ely. Southwest paved the upper part of Main Road. Tunnel Ridge has tarred and chipped portions of Everett and Waynesburg for dust control. We have top-loaded sealed slips on Shaler, Backbone roads for conservation with Township engineer, or conversation with Township engineer. Petroleum Avenue pipe was replaced in conjunction with Knox Energy. Winter materials been ordered. The gas 550 truck was repaired and is back. A skid steer is at Contractor Supply, or Contractor's Connection, with shocker of all shockers, DPF issues. And the boom truck, or the boom mower is at Keister. They got it running, now they're working on the boom, the hydraulics. That's what I got.
Is Midland on here?
I'm gonna talk about Midland,
Solicitor's report.
if you don't mind.
Yeah.
First of all, CDL policy, it's on the agenda tonight.
Yes.
You're supposed to have a policy, I guess we don't have one here. There's 3 options you have. I think that's on pages, page 6 and 7 of your policy? Sorry.
one I sent to everybody.
You all have copies of that?
I'm gonna say, did everybody bring?
I didn't bring it with me, but. it's
What the
fine.
policy stands for, basically a number of years ago, the federal government and state government went through,
Yes, you emailed to us.
Yeah.
went through the process of telling you folks you have to have CDL. And you have a policy there. The policy sets forth what your standard is going to be. And you have three options. Option one is based if a person fails the test, because you're supposed to have random drug testing on all your folks here. Now, you guys haven't been doing that?
No.
You're required to, okay? So it gives you three options. If a person tests positive, you can go, they go get tested, they go through treatment at their own expense. You can fire them. That's option A. Option B is, again, the first two items, and you can give them one bite of the apple. And that's what I was talking with some other people I represent. I was talking with Cheryl Barnhart from Morgan Township, who's the past Township Association president. I've dealt with Cheryl since 1992, 93. The second option is to give them one bite of the apple. So if they fail the test and go through the treatment and so forth, do the testing, then you give them one bite of the apple. You don't fire them, okay? But that's only one bite. It's like a last chance doctrine. And the third policy, the third option is to go through, testing positive, the evaluation, treatment, and you never fire. I think that becomes somewhat problematic because something happens, they keep getting out drunk or whatever, they hurt somebody, you have some liability. But that's your discretion what you want to do. Okay, so you have to figure out what you're going to do with the policy. I think that's from my perspective. You need to have that. Furthermore, just for the record, and this is something you have to be concerned with also, when you have CDL vehicles, it's my understanding basically you have to walk around the vehicles and so forth before you start them up.
FPTI, yeah.
You're supposed to do that every day, every morning. That's what I've been taught over the years. Make sure your folks are doing that, okay? Second thing is Delashon Road. I think I sent an email, I sent an email to the township the other day, asked what the status is. It's my understanding that that road was bonded by Columbia Gas, correct?
Yes.
And the bond's still in our hands?
Yes, there is, right? I mean, you didn't, I checked the other day.
Oh, I don't know. What?
The original one where
Whatever
the,
you have some type of either cash bond, you have a bond that's still living, still alive?
I don't believe there was a live bond.
What
I
do you
believe
have?
they left $45,000 to be for the repair, but that's it.
So that's what you have then?
Mhm.
You have an agreement also?
Everything was given back to them.
But we have $45,000 in our,
Mhm.
all right. So what you need to do is you need to figure out if there's been any damages to Delashon. I remember I mentioned,
Mhm.
have your engineer take a look at that. You should have pre-use pictures. And you
Well,
should,
the damage occurred pre-Widmer, so that's the issue.
Different, or different,
but
engineer.
didn't the engineer take pictures and send them to you?
The previous one.
The previous one, no.
Yeah. So, he was going to, that's what he texted me today when he had to go to the funeral. His grandmother passed away. He will have a report for what I asked him for Delashon later on this week, he said.
Whenever you bond roads, make sure, I'm just giving you some advice, make sure
Mhm.
you have your engineer or someone take pictures, and make a written report. This whole process has evolved over the past 10 years. First, you bond the road and that was good enough, then you start taking pictures and that was good, that was not good enough after a while. So now, sometimes you need to have your engineer take a look and do a picture and do some type of report. And that comes out of the escrow account.
Mhm.
The next thing is emergency service. I think we sent some information. I guess I told Chris, there was some discussion about fire departments and so forth. So I sent you, I was at a seminar years ago, so I pulled that out and gave that to Chris, said send that over to those folks. So they have some understanding what the, how the relationship is between a fire department and a township or borough. Midland asphalt. I mean, this is something that's been going on for a number of months. Where are we with that? I know we talked today a little bit about that, but
So they were out today.
They were out today and they dug up portions, but it doesn't look like they actually, it looks like they reclaimed it again.
what do you mean by reclaim?
Well,
You know, when they take the old asphalt up and grind it back up, they asked us for 100 ton of stone. We okayed 100 ton of stone. They used 25 ton of stone.
yeah.
Are they done?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Oh, yeah, that's where
they
Tammy
didn't-
and I were this evening. We went to
Yeah.
video the road.
Well, we have a written agreement this time, right?
Well,
Widmer couldn't do it in the amount of time.
So I went out, I have a GoPro and he told me to stick it on the front of my car and put it in.
There are sections of it, the mud is already coming up.
After they did this,
Yeah, they did it this morning and it was done by 1:30.
I think still what I would do, my recommendation to the board, I would still have your engineer go out and take a look at it.
Yeah.
That's my recommendation.
And I-
Either they can do it today or tomorrow.
He can't.
You been on,
After
you used to
funeral.
look at it, Ed?
I was there.
He was
Oh,
there.
you
He
were
was
there?
They
there.
actually didn't come with, what, a dump truck or anything, or?
They told us to provide the stone. Nobody said we needed to provide the crew also.
I don't know what the deal was worked out with them, but they reground the road and graded it back in and rolled it.
Yeah.
And that's what they did last year, and it has to set for, I think, 7 days or something. And then,
Before they can,
and then you seal it.
yeah.
I don't know what your deal is with them, how instead it worked out, I wasn't involved.
Are they sealing it?
They're gonna wait
Yeah.
7 days, but in the meantime, we have a logger who needs the road.
Yeah,
We got, well, we'll have to
What?
wait.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait.
but I know, they didn't even know, they didn't understand where the 100 ton of stone came from. That
They questioned who told us to buy 100 ton of stone, and we said it's in the proposal. There were 4 sections you were to fix. When you added up the tons of stone, it added up to almost 100.
Yeah, they didn't even,
And they used a quarter of it.
They used 25, yeah.
yeah.
Well, you need to have your engineer take a look at that, and the logger can't use it till that gets over with. Plus, I don't know, can you seal a road when you have moisture on it? I don't think.
I don't know.
No idea.
All I know is there were sections the mud was already coming up.
I'm not an engineer, I'm not a road guy, but I thought that was part of the problem when they did it the first time. I didn't know they had to wait 7 days. I don't know what the 7 days, I guess for settling,
I guess settle it and let it finish.
because I thought it should have been sealed when they were done, because,
No, they say you gotta wait between 5 and 7 days is what they told me. And, dealing in this stuff, you put 100 ton of stone in them patches, and you're not removing any material, you're gonna create a hump in the road.
yeah.
Well, we understand that. We don't know why
It's called a speed bump.
why they ever proposed that to begin with.
Yeah,
Because they're the ones that sent us the proposal with all of the, which is why I assumed it would take longer because they needed 100 ton worth of stone. That's a lot of road.
yeah.
Did they get it, did they do all the spots they were supposed to?
Yeah, everything that was marked out.
Yeah.
So I suggest have the engineer, as soon as he has the ability,
Okay.
to take a look. Now, there's, go from there.
And don't pay them. Don't pay them yet?
Well, no,
We don't, we're not
They're
paying
doing
it.
this.
We're
Yeah.
not paying them anyway, because it was,
Oh, this is.
Yeah.
We don't
Yes.
have, because they we didn't have a bond in place like you're supposed to have a bond in place. Pump station situation, this is your Florida situation. Now, I'm not an engineer, I sent you guys an email late today.
Yeah, it was just
He sent me the stuff last Wednesday or Thursday. It's not really technical from my point of view, but again, I'm not an engineer. And the reason why I mentioned maybe have your engineer take a look at doing this stuff, doing your
She's coming tomorrow.
areas,
Yes.
have her look at it, have her draw up the specs. Also, what you have to consider, right now, and I was gonna mention this to you, Commonwealth Financing Authority has grants available. You just got done with the last round, I think about a week ago. It provides grants up to $500,000 for projects. And these are projects that are smaller projects, like you may have here. So I'm suggesting to you, what you may want to do when you talk to Sarah, is maybe try to put something together that has RFP. And I know this might be an emergency situation for you at the pump station, but talk to Sarah about doing, looking at the project, say, what can we do in the Commonwealth Financing Authority to maybe go for a grant to fix your system? Because some places are getting the grants. This is a grant, it's not a loan, it's a grant. Okay? So you talk to her, ask her about looking at that process. Also, ask her to do the RFP, because when you do RFPs, just like I was talking today with Stephanie Whitlatch about an RFP for another place, that the engineer didn't do the right thing. because you have to have certain requirements in those RFPs about, you know, material and so forth, okay? And she knows that better than I do. Okay, it's my understanding that Range Waterline, I viewed some type of agreements from them, and then basically I made some suggestions to the agreements. You know, basically until let them make those changes and send it back to take a look at one last time. Now, are they also reimbursing the township for attorney fees on this also, or no? Or do you want, that's not a concern?
Not really, I think
Okay.
we're getting there.
You get a good deal out of it, you get 10,000, okay. But just make sure when they make that change, let me take one last look at it before we sign off on it. And that has to be approved at a township meeting, okay? And that's all I want to talk about tonight, just, you know.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Old business.
Oh, there it is.
Previously tabled lease agreements for the township building. No movement on that. We've been trying to get a hold of.
I have left her several messages and no calls. So, and I will try again.
Yeah. Previously tabled, create a subcommittee consisting of Chief Graham, Chief Yancic, and Steve Schultz to evaluate the parking situation in West Alexander, and then direct the road crew to erect state-approved no parking signs and paint the curbs yellow. Just so you don't feel left out, can we call Steve Chief too?
Okay.
Any action on that? Or-
No, because other things, between slips and things like that,
Okay.
hurricanes.
All right, staying on the table. Previously tabled, redo worksheet or work week to reflect the contract and have a holding week
I think what we said was that was going to be rectified
when we changed over.
yes,
Yeah,
which
I
is
thought
gonna be in October, yeah.
so. Oh, we're starting that in October.
What, yeah,
It was the next quarter.
Okay. Previously tabled item, water meter reader.
I think we need to bring her in and talk to her, at least interview her.
so are you lifting this off? the
Yes,
table?
I would like to lift this off the table.
Make a motion, we got a motion, we have a second.
I'll second it.
We have one applicant for the position, is that correct?
It's all we've got.
Is that what we have, just one?
We had two, but only one who had any sort of experience in this
Okay.
area.
We do have two.
Okay.
Well, let's get it off the table first.
Okay.
How do you vote?
Kathy,
Yes.
yes, Doug,
Yeah.
Ed.
Yeah. Okay, now. What do you want to do?
We had two applicants, but one didn't necessarily have any experience whatsoever in this area, so.
Is the proper thing to do to call them both in anyways and talk to them both? I mean,
Well, if they don't meet their requirements, you don't
Okay.
need to.
You're allowed to scream.
Okay, we'll call and see if I'll see if she's even still interested.
is that something that we all need to meet with, like?
If you're an employee, I think you all should, you know,
Okay.
give the opportunity to everyone to meet with that person.
Okay, so you're
So
gonna
do we-
contact?
I'll call her and
Do
see
we
if
need to
she's,
make a?
It'd be an executive session.
You don't need it,
Yeah.
no action at this point.
we'll just, I'll give her a call and see if she's still interested. It's been a couple months.
All right. So we don't
So
have,
it's not going back on the table though? Or is it
No,
on?
it's not being tabled,
Okay,
Yeah.
it's moving ahead.
okay, good. All right,
all right, previously tabled item, nope, that was it. Subdivision of parcel, there's the number submitted by the Washington County Planning Commission, but signatures are incomplete, so it was on hold.
Are you looking for the pockets?
I don't know, here, here's something.
I did, I thought I heard.
Somebody's car.
Is it car alarm?
Everybody's car's being broken into. Think it was a little soft. You still got a soft?
Blew the engine out that one day, I with the supervisor, just turned around and blew the engine. What do we do?
I caught it.
I think these are the same? Yeah. The same letter.
Have they come, somebody come and presented the plan?
Are you
They're right there.
Yes,
They're here, okay.
Okay.
You can come forward if you want.
that's fine. I'm good.
Don't you have to take that off the table?
It wasn't on the table, it was something that we just, yeah, we didn't table it, we just.
But we had talked about it previously.
Yeah. It came in and it wasn't.
The Washington County sent their portion, but we didn't have the actual Mylar or plans.
Can I see a copy?
With the letter.
And you're the owner, sir?
I work for the owner, yes.
And you are,
John Ropchak.
I'm sorry,
John Ropchak,
can you spell your last name?
Ropchock.
And you are a surveyor or whatever?
No, I'm actually a project manager for the Dowd companies.
I guess I'm getting older. What company again?
Dowd, BTS.
Okay.
Yeah,
So this will be a commercial building?
correct.
So this is where, I thought we called them lock boxes. What did you call them?
Knox box.
Knox.
Knox box.
The building's already existing,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Where is it located?
Right at Strauss's.
This
bullet-
Rouse's then?
Correct.
Okay. And now is this whole outline of this, is that Strauss's former property?
Yeah, I believe it's 98 acres total.
And
You're
you're carving,
subdividing
you're carving this piece out right here?
Correct.
the two
And
acres?
is this is a right of way into here, is that what? this
That's
is?
correct. Yeah, I believe this is a 5-acre lot. There's actually,
Is this where the building is
That's what
located?
correct.
With the, where the full service. used to
Yeah,
be.
exactly. Yeah, as soon as you start up the hill to the left, the first building, yeah, it's all fenced in and everything.
You guys are gonna share the drive then?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're gonna share the drive?
Yes. Because they're gonna have to have access to the junkyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should tell you the last time we were there, because there was smoke in the building, alarm went off.
Oh, really?
It cost us about $1,200 to replace the window that we had to break to get in. And it cost you about $400 or $500 to put a Knox box on it.
Okay, well, there's
So,
actually,